But I decided, I said, I'd rather do what I want to do. I'd rather pursue this and potentially save it and keep all the things that I've worked for since I was 8 years old and keep it.
So with your first million, what did you do?
Well, can you explain the question? Because I know it sounds like a simple question. The first million I made in wealth or the first what?
Yeah, well.
So that was 23 units by the age of 23, right? I just kept on rolling the money into another property, another, and then I had the 23 units, and I was bringing in $2,300 a month from that money. And that was roughly, I had probably about $1 million in equity. But 2008 happened, then all that disappeared. So this is a great example. What did I do with my first million? It's not the million. I started working when I was 8. By the time I was 19, I saved up $32,000. I bought my first duplex and I rolled that money into the next one by using the BRRRR strategy for multi-units. And then I had $1 million by the time I was 23. So the question is, okay, now you have $1 million. I was actually gonna buy a GTR, and instead of buying a GTR, I ended up buying 5 more units. Part of me was like, after the market crashed, I was like, damn, I should have just bought the GTR. You know, because now the 5 units I bought were in a low income neighborhood and they were not easy to manage, you know? And then now it's what? 2008, you can buy a GTR. We're talking about so many years later now, 15 plus years later. The GTR is still worth like 60 grand. And I'm like, dang, they didn't lose any value, you know?
Yeah.
It was a good purchase. But I didn't end up buying the car. I bought the 5 units. After the economy recovered, I actually made out really well on owning those 5 units. But during the time it crashed, it sucked.
But what if your car crashed?
I had insurance. So this is the point. We are talking about something really important here, right? The first $1 million, but it ties into everything else we said. Because from 19 to 23, I took the money and I grew it to $1 million. But when the 08 market crash happened, I lost all that money and I was actually negative because I owed more than what the properties were worth because the crash was so hard. Because I was in lower income neighborhoods. They get hurt the worst. The properties I owned in the good neighborhoods, they didn't crash that hard. But the money was gone. What wasn't gone? What is the most important thing that we said that you should get? Education. So everything I learned to get to that point, I didn't lose. I lost the money. I lost the equity. I was so stressed out. And I had the choice. Could I quit? If I quit and just let these go and get foreclosed on like everybody else, I could just go back working for the bank. I could make, $20-25 an hour, $40,000, $50,000 a year. I don't got to worry about all this headache and trying to like manage these properties that are like losing money. But I decided, I said, I'd rather do what I want to do. I'd rather pursue this and potentially save it and keep all the things that I've worked for since I was 8 years old and keep it. So I decided, you know what? I'd rather go through this hell to fight to keep these properties than to just give up and go and have an easy life and just go work at the bank. Because of all the knowledge I've learned and the hard work that I've gained from working since I was 8 to that point in time when the market crashed in 2008, that knowledge they couldn't take from me. So I was able to use it to fight to keep everything that I had. And thank God, because everything that I had, I later sold for more money or traded up for better properties or kept them. Like the property that I bought when I was 21, that I bought for $335,000. Today it's worth like $3.5 million because I was able to fight to keep it. Now guess how much I would have hated myself if today I just gave up when the times were tough and not had that property.
The bill for regret?
Yep. The bill for regret is very expensive. So that's why knowledge is so important, because they can't take it from you.
I want money, cash, want it all, I'm selfish.